All done. Time to water. Yep, welcome. It is a beautiful day in North Carolina, and since we're looking like we're getting over the old frost freeze and all that stuff, crazy cold weather we've had this spring, I think it's time to plant the front micro garden. As you can see, it's a little bit of a mess, but since I put down this garden plastic over the, and I left it down, I didn't pull it up last year, it's cut most of the weeds out. You can see that where there's holes, I got grass coming out of the holes in the garden, and then along the side there's some weed as well. Basil going nuts. I need to cut that back. I don't really use basil that much. I just use it to try to keep the bugs away from the tomatoes. But if I get around to canning and stuff, if I ever get that successful with this, then I probably would need some basil for some canning tomatoes. The carrots right behind it, I just let them grow. I still, I probably do not give my carrots enough water, and that's part of their problem. So they usually end up growing and turning into Franken carrots after a while. But for now, first thing I need to do is get all these weeds cleared out. All right. So now that I have the weeds out, let's just take a look at what we're doing. Now I have 6 little curly things for my tomatoes. So I took the 6 biggest of my tomatoes. I'm going to bring those up here and plant those. I also brought my peppers up, and I'm going to plant those in the middle like I did last year. But what I'm going to do is, based on my little experiment with the bottles over the tomato plant on the garden tower, I'm going to make the holes big enough so I can put this into the ground around the peppers to kind of give them more of a greenhouse effect. I mean, it's going to be hot in here, but peppers like heat, and the peppers I grew last year didn't do that great, and it could be a combination of not enough sun, because as you can tell, it's almost 10 o'clock in the morning, and I don't get sun here until after noon and the rest of the day, and that's when the heat comes in here and creates a really hot microclimate here, which is why basically you can only get the tomatoes to grow here, some herbs, and apparently my raspberries. Also, like I said, I'm gonna increase the size of the holes here. I'm also going to do the same with where the tomato plants go, and so that it's it's making sure there's plenty more water going into it. I'm not doing anything with the ground below, the dirt below. This is a few years of putting in garden bag soil, because outside of the garden bag it's just red clay. Which is why I have a micro garden, if you haven't been following here. It's like that's the soil we have. So that's what I'm going to do next. I am going to shore up the holes and get the stakes down to make sure I have all the holes dug, and then we will plant. I'll fall over, then we'll plant some plants. All right, so next up is getting these ready. Alrighty, so we're set up here. Now, if you haven't seen them before, these are just basically V8 splash bottles. Just use hot water and my fingernail to take the labels off. And then at the very bottom, there's a ridge that goes around just like the one here in the top. And I just cut the bottom right off. It doesn't have to be perfectly flat, but you know, obviously the more even it is, the easier it is to dig it into the ground like this. So the ideas will be, we'll stick the pepper plants in and put their little greenhouses in there. Got my tomato stakes in. Cut the holes a little bigger for those. Also just broke open the Eco Disc right there, just like I did on the tomatoes in the back, so I could put the stake towards the back more than in the hole with the tomato plant, just to give it a little more room. Just a side note, if you have raspberry plants, I mean, I didn't plant a raspberry up here, but I have two here growing one in the garden, one underneath the plastic. I got two there, and I already moved some out from there. And I got this other one, or the scraggly one over here, where I got my first raspberry today. And there's a little tiny one over here on the wall. So basically, if you have one raspberry or two raspberry plants, you'll have many, many more later. Again, same thing over here. Getting the plants ready. I did trim the carrots a little bit just to give this tomato plant a little more. I mean, the sun's going to be coming like from there, but just wanted to give it a little more sunshine and space to itself. All right, next get these guys in the ground.
It's a mall. What is that?
Thank you. All right, that was probably a butterfly.
Oh.
This is what we're gonna do. Catherine, you're gonna remove a disc. Dean, give Catherine the smaller shovel. Where's the other shovel?
What are these?
Oh. All right, Catherine. This is what I want you to do. I want you to dig a hole, put the disc off to the side next to the opening. Dig a hole, and then I want you to put some of those eggshells in the hole when you're done digging the hole. After you dig the hole.
Why do we need to put eggshells in the hole?
Well, that's a good question. Eggshells have calcium, and so hopefully that will help with the growth of tomatoes.
What's calcium?
Well, calcium is something that helps bones grow and keeps things strong. Catherine, you gotta dig a hole. Remember, we gotta dig a hole for the plant. So stick it all the way in.
Is the eggshell raw or is it fresh?
Now these are eggshells that I've been collecting.
Oh.
All right, Dean, grab one of the tomato plants.
Where's the tomato plant?
The tomato plants are right there on the ground in the little tiny buckets.
Okay.
All right, wait, stop. All right, Catherine, now, since Dad's built your hole here, get some eggshells and stick them in the hole.
Okay.
There you go. All right, now Dean, squeeze the bottom of the bucket. No, listen, squeeze. Yeah, squeeze on all sides. Not too hard, but just on each side. All right. Now hold your hand out. I got this. Hold your hand. Hold up. You're supposed to grab the tomato plant, Dean. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, careful with the tomato plant. Put the dirt in there. All right, watch where you're patting the dirt. All right, and then we're done with that. Don't break it though. And then we put the tomato Careful of the tomato plant. They're delicate. There you go. All right, we just sit it right on there. All right, let's do the next one. Three down.
Are we gonna?
All right, you want to film Dad doing the pepper plants real quick?
Me, I want to.
All right, you guys can share. You guys can share.
But Catherine's a horrible girl.
All right, well, come on. Get around here, Captain. Come on here, around Dad's side. All right, so same sort of thing. We're gonna get the dirt off to the side.
And get the bottle off to the side first.
Yeah, get the bottle off to the side. Oh, we got some sort of root down here. Not good.
Daddy head.
All right, the Dad's gonna come in here and stick his finger in the pepper tray. Pull out a pepper. Stick it in.
Dad.
Watch where you're filming. And we'll stick the container right back on. All right. This over here.
That's really dry.
Yeah,
That's
that
really dry. Hurt.
Yes, it is. All right.
So what would you like to do if you worked it on a farm?
If I worked on a farm, then I'd be farming everything. I'd like to have a big farm.
How big?
Plants and animals.
100 acres?
100 acres? That sounds great. All right, well, so I'm gonna get all these rest of these planted.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna say thanks for joining us at Leisurely Logan.
Thanks for joining us at Leisurely Logan. We hope you see you soon.